we're gonna play a little game here where we go through a few head coaches and we see or we determine whether or not we think these coaches are on the hot seat this upcoming NFL season. So let's start off with Philly, Nick Sirianni. After the round one playoff exit that they took last year, June, do you think Nick Sirianni is on the hot seat?
No, I think he's safe for another year. I think he's good. I think the Eagles are fine with Nick Sirianni right now. Now that could all change depending on the record, but I think Philly will probably make the playoffs again and he'll be safe again. So I don't see Nick Sirianni being on the hot.
Something I want to add in. Let's assume that all of these coaches have the same type of performance they had last year.
Same type of performance,
or similar.
A lot of my opinion.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say if he tanks next year, he's gone. The way that they got rid of
right.
Super Bowl. But if they make the playoffs and have another first round exit,
okay.
He's I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree. If as long as they make the playoffs, he should stay. If they miss, I think he could be gone. Brian Daboll.
Brian Daboll's on the hot seat because especially we don't know, we'll never know if he had anything to do with the releasing of Saquon Barkley, because he is an offensive coordinator. We got to remember that he runs the offense. So I'm assuming he had something to do with the releasing of Saquon Barkley, because we ain't seen him on TV saying, "Hey, I really wanted him to stay, but they wanted to let him go." He hasn't come out and defended the guy. So for me, I'm saying if he had anything to do with the releasing of Saquon Barkley, and that team goes 4-13 next year, he's gone. Goodbye, Dable. You cannot go through two seasons. I mean, remember the Giants got rid of what was that coach name after one season? What was that coach a couple of years ago? The guy right before Dable?
Oh, you mean the special teams coach?
Joe Judge.
Yeah, but I mean that was such a bad hire. That was such a bad.
But same thing. You're looking at Dable. You look at Dable saying, "Hey man, this was your offense, and you couldn't do nothing with it. Your offensive guy, you couldn't do nothing with it. And now we got rid of Saquon Barkley, and we're still struggling." So, Brian Dable is definitely on that hot seat.
Can I put a caveat on this, Jalen?
Yeah.
Daniel Jones has to play most of the year. Okay? If they end up with the same record, with Daniel Jones healthy the whole year, he's on the hot seat. Okay? Because there was so many injuries last year. I mean, you lost Saquon, you lost Daniel Jones, you lost everybody on offense, right?
Yeah.
Part of me thinks, how bad is Daniel Jones if Brian Daboll can't turn him around like he turned around Josh Allen? Because people forget that Josh Allen was fucking terrible.
That first season.
He was completing 54% of his passes when he came into the NFL. He was bad until Brian Daboll was an offensive coordinator. So how bad is Daniel Jones if he can't turn him around? So if they have the same season with no talent on offense, with a healthy Daniel Jones, I still think the Giants are probably going to give him another year because of the offensive mind that he has. But I mean, there's just so many things that happened last year with the Giants. I don't really know what their record should have been with a healthy Daniel. So I'm going to go ahead and say he's not going to.
I think he will be, because I could see Jones being healthy and them still just being trash next year, and they're gonna want Daboll gone because it's New York.
But is it going to be his fault that they're trash? He's not the general manager.
I don't think it's because it's New York, and you know how they get, where it's like, all right, it's been 3 years you've been here, and made the playoffs once.
He took the trash ass Giants to the playoffs. Did he
Yeah.
not? His first year with Daniel Jones.
And didn't they win a playoff game?
They won. They beat Minnesota.
Yeah. Now you're gonna put him with a less talented team, and then fire him when he doesn't do better. Like, get rid of the goddamn general manager, man. Like, Brian Daboll gets fired, so he can go someplace else. Because I think he's actually a really good coach.
I agree.
Like, that team overachieved his first year because of him.
For sure.
But he also had Saquon Barkley all season too.
Right.
Yeah, he had there wasn't a lot of injuries, but still.
All right, Sean McDermott. I'm just gonna go real quick. I say yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is concurrence.
You have to go to the AFC Championship game next year for you not to get fired, because you have one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and you're a defensive-minded coach, and you're not. It will, if they don't make the AFC Championship, they will fire him and hire an offensive-minded coach. Hey, maybe Daboll goes back there and be the head coach. I don't know. Maybe that happens. But for them to make it to the AFC Championship game and then squander it no, they did make it to the AFC Championship. They lost in the division round to the Chiefs. But for them to not get better and get over the hump, that is just, or it just keeps piling up on him. He's going to end up being the next Andy Reid. That just can't do it in Philly and maybe have to go someplace else. But yeah, I think they need to change now. They should have fired him after this year.
G Money says definitely his ass is on fire.
Already burning up.
Doug Peterson.
Oh yeah. Doug Peterson is on the hot seat. After I understand your quarterback got hurt, but still, they just completely fell apart. They had a big division lead, and that team just completely imploded. Okay, they let a team that nobody gave a chance to in the Houston Texans come back and win that division. There's no way Jacksonville should have lost that division. And that's on the head coach. You gotta keep that together.
Well, let me ask you guys this, though. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt last year, do they win? Do they make the playoffs?
Yes.
Because they made the playoffs the year before, right?
Probably.
If Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt in that Cincy game, they probably make the playoffs, right? So the only way he's on the hot seat is if Trevor Lawrence starts the whole year and they don't make the playoffs.
Right.
Like, if he's healthy, as long as they make the playoffs, I think he's safe.
Yeah, I agree.
But they can't be as necessarily hot and cold, because they were like 8-2 at one point, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were on fire.
They were like 8-2 at one point. And well, the thing is that they were winning some games ugly. I wouldn't necessarily say fire. Like, we would come back and we'd be like, God damn, like, they won again.
On paper, they were on fire.
I really think that next year, 2 things are going to determine the Jags season. One, Trevor Lawrence coming back to form after being hurt, right? And Calvin Ridley. They need more out of Calvin Ridley this next year. He showed up. Actually, I don't think he showed up. He didn't show up. So they need him to show up, because he's that dynamic receiver, the tight end, the running back, and the second and third receiver they got. But their number one receiver was like non-existent most of the year. So he needs to offensively figure that out. But if Trevor Lawrence is healthy and they make the playoffs, I think he comes back for another year. But they missed the playoffs with a healthy Trevor Lawrence. God damn.
Right.
Whew.
The thing is, they still had a chance to make the playoff. They just got to win that last game. Trevor Lawrence was back. Trevor Lawrence was in the game.
Yeah, but he wasn't healthy.
Well, you can't put him in
out
there.
there. He was made out of paper mache at that point.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't
Take him
move.
out there. Yeah.
Couldn't set his foot. Boy, you saw what the backup quarterback was. What the fuck was that guy's name? He should be at the goddamn terrible. not everybody can have a Jake Browning like the Bengals did that actually got them some wins after.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I don't even remember who the backup quarterback name was, but he was god fuck.
Yeah.
Poor guy. All right, Mike Tomlin.
No.
Well,
He'll go
No.
8-9 or 9-8. And
he's not ever on the hot seat. I don't even. Mike Tomlin, that organization is loyal to a fault. You know what I mean? They're loyal to a fault. They don't like they've only had 3 coaches in their history.
They don't
Right.
change head coach.
They don't fire head coaches. They don't do it. They don't do it. I mean, Howard had some good years. He finally got that Super Bowl. He retired. They give it over to Mike Tomlin. He wins the Super Bowl. He takes it to another Super Bowl. Should have won that one. I don't know what they were doing that Super Bowl, but the fact of the matter is this: Tomlin is never going to be on the hot seat. He would have to have multiple losing seasons in a row, and they'd probably still let him just retire. Okay.
Well, they will because, like you said, they've only had 3 head coaches. So the Steelers won 4 Super Bowls in the 70s, right? Not awful in the 80s. How many? No, was the coach for damn near a decade since he won a Super Bowl with terrible teams
Yeah.
before they got Bill Cowher.
Mm-hmm.
And so they hang on to coaches like nobody's business. And I'm just gonna say it. There is no way in hell that the organization that came up with the Rooney Rule is going to fire the highest profile black head coach in the NFL. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That man could have 4 losing seasons in a row and they'll fire the GM every time.
Every time.
Because when he has talent, he wins.
Yep.
He's a winner when they have talent.
Yep.
He doesn't have the talent right now. They're trying to figure out the offense. He has to figure out their offense, but that's also the GM's job.
Yeah.
Like the GM drafted Little Piggy Pickett, right? They were the ones that were stalling with the contracts of Le'Veon Bell and AB and them. They let them go because they made them unhappy with their contracts. If they'd have paid those people, those killer bees could have done something.
Yeah.
But they need a franchise quarterback. So, I mean, hey, could Russell Wilson go to the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know that Sierra would love Steel City that much. But I think he could excel there. So I don't know. But no, he's not.
Fair enough. Robert Saleh up in New York.
Yeah, so when you showed me this list, I saw it. I was like, And I saw Robert Saleh's name. I'm like, let me look up Saleh, see what he's done. The man is 18-33 in 3 seasons. 18-33 in 3 seasons. I understand he's a defensive guy, but how long? And that's New York City. We just talked about Dable being on the hot seat. This is New York City. How long are you going to let? I understand you lost your quarterback at the beginning of this season. Blah 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 blah. But 18-33 in 3 seasons. Yes, he has to be on the hot seat. I mean, there's no choice but to put him on the hot seat. You cannot continue just to sit there with a guy who has this record. If he was contending for the division each year and he was just coming up a little bit short, but no, he's not even in contention in the every year. Last 8 games of the season, New York's already looking for the draft every single season. So no, he's got to be on the hot seat. He needs to stay on the hot seat.
Here is why I do not think he will be on the hot seat next year, Jalen. Here's my reason. Okay. You're saying if they do similarly to what they did last year. Okay. How many times has Aaron Rodgers missed every game of the season outside of 3 snaps? Okay. That's never happened. They're going to have Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Their record will be better with Aaron Rodgers. And yes, he's 18-33 as a head coach. I'm sorry. I think a lot of people are going 18-33 with Zach Wilson as your quarterback. I think a lot of people are. I just like that man's better at sleeping with people's moms than he is throwing the ball. So I don't think he'll be on the hot seat simply because I think they'll do better, and I think they will be a playoff contending team with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. That Breece Hall, right? You got Gardner. You have people on defense. You got people. Garrett Wilson, great wide receiver. Even with Zach Wilson throwing him the damn ball, I think with Aaron Rodgers, that team is gonna be in the playoff mix. And so I don't think he'll be on the hot seat because of Aaron Rodgers, if that makes sense. If he had to run it back with Zach Wilson, yeah, he's getting fired after next year. But I think they'll be good enough for him to keep it.
I think that the Jets are going to be kind of dysfunctional next year, and I think he'll end up on the hot seat. Even though, like, they're definitely going to be better than they were last year, but I still think they're just going to be kind of okay, like right around 500. And New York's just going to want him up out of there because they were already kind of talking about that this past season, and I thought he deserved a pass due to the circumstances. But if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, which he should be, I could still see them being kind of wonky. But
And do you guys remember? Was it Sunday Night Football with the Jets Week 1?
I think it was a Monday.
With the flag.
Mm-hmm.
You got all this happening. They're wearing the throwbacks, which are, I love that they're going back to throwbacks. I love they're going back to those 80 legacies. Running out there, 3 plays later. You're like, well, that was fun.
They still won the game, though.
Yeah, that one game. That one game. That one game. They won a couple others after that. But everyone knew at that moment when he had that look and Aaron Rodgers like, okay, well, that was fun for like 17 minutes.
Right. All right, we got a couple more here. Let's rapid fire these. Mike McCarthy.
No, McCarthy's on the hot seat. He's won too many games. He's 36-15 over the last 3 seasons. He's got 2 division wins. A couple of bad calls when it, didn't go his way in the playoffs. That's not bad calls, but bad plays. Bad plays didn't go their way. That's how he's got bounced from the playoffs. But 36-15 last 3 seasons, 2 division wins. No, he's not going to be on the hot seat. Especially if they end up again 12-5. I don't see that.
Okay, you're saying they do the same thing they did last year, Jalen?
Right. I'm saying they've got to get out of the first round. If they get bounced in the first round,
12 games, and they don't even make it to the NFC Championship game, he's gone.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if he's
doing like
Jerry spends a lot of money, yes, but
he's gotta get them to the NFC Championship game if they win 12 games for his job to be safe. Like he might not be in the hot seat throughout the NFL year, but if he flames out in the wild card divisional round against the team that he should beat in the playoffs, that stove is going to get real fucking hot once that season's over.
All right, Matt Eberflus up in Chicago.
Hot. So hot.
Yeah, you can't be bad this long.
Why are you even a head coach when your last name is Eberflus? You should be coaching hockey. I don't know. It sounds Canadian. What are we doing?
And then last but not least, Shane Steichen.
Okay, why do I not know this name?
Indianapolis Colts.
God damn, that's his name? James Steichen?
Yeah, he came from.
That's the head coach in the NFL? I thought this was the
Yeah.
coordinator.
Nah,
Okay,
he
it's
was
the
the
Colts. I
coordinator.
don't know. He's probably not on the hot seat
No,
because they did have
no.
Anthony Richardson last year. Irsay is going to be doing too much coke. He's going to forget to fire him if he wants to. So he's going to keep his job.
And plus, Indianapolis played well last season.
Yeah,
I thought they played pretty well last
with
season.
Gardner
Better bring back
Minshew out
Pittman,
there.
though. They better bring back Pittman. Pittman's his
Yeah.
name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 11.
Michael
110
Pittman.
catches. You better sign that, man. I'm glad I remember that name, Pittman, because I don't really
I
know
don't think. I think he's good. I think he's good because that team was still in contention last year. They played pretty well. I mean, they didn't do like the year before and bring in Jeff. What's his name?
Saturday.
If you are relevant with a quarterback, shorts Minshew,